we are getting into some esoteric physiological wisdom that is built into your body so that we can backtrack it and reverse engineer it for your business. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Crown Yourself podcast, where together we build your empire and transform your subconscious stories about what's possible for your business, body, and life. I'm your host, Kimberly Spencer, founder of CrownYourself.com, and I'm a master mindset coach, best-selling author, TEDx speaker, known to my clients as a game changer. Each week, you get the conscious leadership strategies you need to help you reign with courage, clarity, and confidence so that you too can make the income and impact you deserve. Imagine this podcast as your royal invitation to step into your full potential and reign in your divine purpose. Your sovereignty starts here, and your reign is now.
Hey there, I am Kimberly Spencer, founder of CrownYourself.com, where we help you create a body, business, and life that rules. And we do it in a way that just brings forth the amazing alchemy and esoteric sciences, as well as actual practical neuroscience, and combining them into a magical arena that shifts your subconscious beliefs and your thought patterns so that you rise into your fullest potential. And so I was reading a book, I forget which one, I read a lot. And it hit me. I have been a Pilates coach since I was 19 years old. Pilates was my first business. So I approach personal development first and foremost through the body. Like, let's be real clear on like where I started. I didn't start with books. I started through the body. And one of the things that I've seen consistently as a coach for the past 9 years now, working with visionary leaders, CEOs, and entrepreneurs, is that the body is a metaphor for what you got going on in your subconscious mind. There's a reason that before every coaching call I get on with a client, I have a question about what's been going on with your body, because your subconscious mind runs your body. Think about it. You are not thinking consciously about how to breathe your lungs. You are not thinking consciously about how to beat your heart. Oh my God, if we had to, like the anxiety of like, hold on, let me have this conversation. And meanwhile, I'm also simultaneously trying to hold the thought of like continuously beating my heart. No, that'd be ridiculous. We wouldn't be able to get anything done. So in our infinite perfect design of how we have been created, we have this beautiful thing called a subconscious mind that runs our body. It flows our blood through our body. It breathes our lungs. It beats our heart. It helps all of our systems, and it digests our food. All of these things are being done subconsciously. We're not conscious of them. And so as I have brought back the body into my coaching, because at first I just started coaching back in 2016 doing NLP. And NLP is wonderful in its mindset, and then we do timeline therapy and hypnosis, and all of that was producing phenomenal results. But then when I was in Australia, I got certified in biodynamic breathwork and trauma release, and I realized how much stuff is still stuck in the body, and it made me reflect on my own healing journey. And in my healing journey, when I was 19, I was still bulimic. I was still struggling with bulimia. I had just gotten certified in Pilates and in order to support myself in a career in entertainment. And I had started practicing because one of my clients had recommended it, cranial sacral therapy. I wasn't doing it on myself. I was having it done to me and with me, but I was going to regular cranial sacral therapy sessions. That was partly what sped up my healing, was I was healing through the body. Pilates is a form of exercise that activates your parasympathetic nervous system. Cranial sacral therapy helps to eliminate trauma out of the tissue. And I say this because it started with a burn. I got really badly burned when I was 19 years old. No, I was older. I think I was 21. Yeah, I was 21. And I had been teaching Pilates and had been pretty much healed from bulimia for the most part. But I still occasionally would have a relapse. But I had just gotten out of this relationship with my first love, first of many things. And I went to the movies with my cousin, and I bought, like you do at the movies, a big bowl of pho from downstairs. Genius idea, right? I just didn't realize that this pho was scalding hot. And I dumped the noodles into the pho and it spilled all over my lap. It burned so bad my pants stuck to my leg. Paramedics had to cut the pants off of my leg because it was so badly burned. And it was so painful. I walked into my Pilates session a couple days later, and I had these like massive bandages all over my legs. I went to see a dermatologist. The dermatologist was like, that's a 2nd-degree burn. Like, that is going to scar. Like, you can clean it, you can make nice with it, but that is a 2nd-degree burn. Like, it was, that soup was scalding hot. Like, that was McDonald's lawsuit worthy hot. Of course, I did not sue. I'm not that type of person. But I didn't know simultaneously, and here's the crazy part, at that same movie theater, my boyfriend, who I still was in a relationship with, we were on the rocks. We hadn't broken up. And he was there with the girl that he was cheating on me with. So I was burned. My unconscious mind picked up on this burn and I was burned. And my client who had fibromyalgia at the time, she said, you need to see my person who does craniosacral therapy. Her name is Janine. She's amazing. And Janine worked with me for years. She actually was the one who married Spike and I, because the work that we did together was so deep and profound. And I am so eternally grateful for her support during those formative years of understanding how the body traps stuff in it. So I had my first session of craniosacral therapy. I laid everything out. She was the first person I was like, you need my whole history of all the things I've been through. Here you go. I am fully surrendered to this process working. I was so surrendered to just like, I will do anything to make sure that I don't have a giant scar the size of 2 of my handprints on my leg. Like, sure, that could have been ego, but I was like, I was ready. And so she did the session, and as I'm in the session, my leg starts reburning. I go back to the dermatologist a few days later, and he goes, what did you do? And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, you're not going to scar anymore. He says, at best, you might have a little tiny discoloration, but you will have no scar. What did you do? I said, craniosacral therapy. And he goes, So I was like, okay, allopathic versus more Eastern medicine. There's the war in that. But the experience of that transformed how I perceive the body. And then the more study I've done into trauma, into healing, and you can read the book, The Body Keeps the Score, Waking the Tiger by Dr. Peter Levine, Healing Back Pain by Dr. John Sarno. These are all powerful books that I have read to see and understand the body connection. And that's why I deeply added in the body and remembered the power of the body through breath work when I was in Australia. And then through that certification, we now add that into our coaching program because it is a game changer for unlocking things that sometimes the body is like, I don't know if I'm ready to let go of this. And that's when we have an opportunity to do that through the safety of the breath. So how does your body operate as a metaphor? So think of it this way. You consume new information throughout your life. So especially during the imprint period of 0 to 7, where you are just a sponge and a giant walking unconscious mind where there is no discernment between really right, wrong, good, bad, everything just is. This is how we pick up habits that may not be the best habits later on in life, but they were what our environment said, this is what you do to survive. And so this information is not necessarily externalized. It's just information that makes you aware and into a being. And so you consume information of a belief, a thought pattern, a feeling, and think of how you consume, right? You consume with a sense of taste. Like when you actually consume food, you taste the food, and that starts the digestive process. It's assimilating into the mouth. And what else starts in the mouth? Language, speech. Speech is assimilated and impressed with human thought. And that is part of how we are assimilating what it is that we consume through our environment. And so the body is constantly consuming food, news, environment, looking at what's going to taste good, what's going to keep me safe, what's going to, what's going to keep me functioning. So first, you have to disintegrate the forms. You disintegrate the forms of language. And in digestion, the first step of it is masticating your food. So masticating requires conscious attention where you are aware of like, here is the intention of what I'm consuming. And then followed by the further disintegration into the stomach and into the intestines. And this is the disintegration of who you have been, beliefs you have had, beliefs you choose to have and unconsciously chose to have. You chew them up, and some of the pieces, they stick with you, and they stick with you for a while. So some pass through you, right? Like some don't fit. Like this is how, if you think about it, when you and a sibling, if you had a sibling growing up, I didn't, but I had friends. And so when they hear certain parts of my stories, like they're like, wait, I've known you your whole life. Like that wasn't how it was. Like this is how we experienced your family. This is how we experienced it. So there are things like, and beliefs and things that some people have that, particularly, let me give you an example about my father, right? My father was a really amazing man in many ways, and he definitely had his demons. And my mom and I can watch a home movie or a video from years ago, and we get the same feeling like, no, nope, skip, don't want to be around it. And it's not bad. Like anybody from the outside would be like, oh, he's being funny, he's being loud, he's being gregarious. And we're like, he's being drunk and it's uncomfortable. But nobody would know that because he was really good at hiding it. And so people on the outside who weren't used to his like manic behavior shifts, who didn't see that, they saw this gregarious, fun guy and, oh, he's so fun. Meanwhile, like the fun could quickly flip on a dime. And that was really scary. So the perception that people have integrated into who they perceive other people to be, some of it gets shut out. Some of it you're like, oh, no, this is my perception of this person and this is who this person is. We do the same thing with ourselves. This is who I am. Is it? No, it's who you think you are. Is it serving you? Okay, well, if it's serving you, you can keep it and keep it nourishing you. If it's not, it's time to shit that belief out. So the body is this beautiful metaphor for how your subconscious mind actually works. And so when we look at the disintegration process, this is where there's stuff in you, in the body, that gets stuck. That is like, these are old patterns, old beliefs, old microbiome, old parasites that are literally eating you and taking up your nutrients. So you're not being able to show up in your highest and best self. And this is where you get to look at using the body as a metaphor. What are you consuming? What are you actually putting into your mouth? What are the words that you are actually forming inside of your mouth? Are they nourishing you? Are they serving you? Are they supporting others? Are they nourishing and uplifting others? Or are they tearing people down? Are they tearing people apart? This disintegration, though, happens in the speech that we have and in the actual facilitation of our own bodies as we are integrating new information. So look at how you are integrating or need to disintegrate beliefs you've had, things you've said. What nutrients do you need to support yourself? And I mean this on a physiological level, on a spiritual level, on an emotional level, on a mental level. Do you need more joy? What are the things that you have held inside your body that you need a colonic for? What are those beliefs? Maybe it's the belief that you're like, finally, I want to give up that belief. I want to shit out that belief that I do not deserve my success. This was a huge belief that I had to work on passing through, figuratively. Because this belief of deserving is riddled with guilt. So your body, you get to train your body and your unconscious mind to be wise enough to select and digest the proper sorts of food. And food is in all forms: spiritual food, emotional food, mental food, actual physical food. What are you actually putting into your body? So in Hermetic sciences, there is a common statement of as above, so below. Is the right selection and assimilation of the mental food you are consuming assimilating into your body? What parts are you assimilating? What parts maybe do you need a little bit more of? Subconsciousness receives the impress of self-conscious mental states and is modified by self-conscious selectivity and initiative. The outcome of digesting is covered by subconscious processes, and it depends on the selection of the food. For example, if you select more fiber in your actual physiological diet in this plane, you will have more shit to process through. So you select the food. You get to select what is the food that you are selecting to put into your body. Now you know this. What are the emotions you're selecting? You will know this by the environment that you are operating in. If you are finding yourself constantly complaining or being angry about the state of the world or choices that were made in governments, then you are choosing to assimilate anger. There is a universal law that subconsciousness is at all times in control of every human manifestation of cosmic energy. So when you are assimilating and choosing food, thoughts, mental thoughts, what food are you putting into your body? Are you putting in thoughts of, I'm not good enough, I suck, I'm going to fail, I'm playing not to lose, I'm so scared of losing, which thus perpetuates, what you focus on, you feed. And so you're feeding the dogs of loss, of fear, of scarcity, versus choosing thoughts like, what I'm doing is working. I will figure this out. I've got this. I know I made a mistake. I forgive myself, and I'm choosing to move forward with grace. I am choosing to see new paths forge ahead in front of me. I am choosing to see every monetary money-making opportunity that presents itself. I am so grateful for everything that I have in my life right now. There is apparently a Kabbalistic principle that whenever a challenge presents itself in front of you, you say, how is this a gift? Thank you for this gift. You thank it literally. Thank your problems for being the gift that presents itself in front of you for you to alchemize it. You get to assimilate it as an opportunity if you choose to see it as that. Versus if you choose to assimilate it as a problem and, let me perpetuate all the other bile that I have stuck in me, it just enhances the factor that I am not enough and all that. It's going to build up an emotional weight inside of your body versus the power of knowing, okay, I'm going to alchemize this problem and see it for the opportunity that it really is. It is a gift that is allowing for me to evolve. And when you start to see your problems as that, suddenly you're feeding yourself an entirely different experience of life. You get to assimilate new options. Your body gets to process all the other junk in it. And sometimes, yes, just like with detoxing, it takes time because there have been junky belief systems, junky thought patterns, junky food, let's be honest, that we've put into our bodies that needs to be processed out, and that does take some time. So give yourself grace on the healing journey, and also give yourself the gift of seeing everything as a gift. Because just like I saw from that experience at the movie theater with the big bowl of pho and healing my own body, being able to see how powerful I was to heal and to let my body do the healing that it needed to do, oh my gosh, I realized how powerful we are. And it is that set the tone for the belief system that I took into everything that I do. When we can realize our divine, innate power within us to pivot us and move us away from dis-ease. And I say dis-ease with a hyphen in front of it. Because when we're in the state of flow, when we're in a space of ease and grace, choosing to assimilate opportunities, it feels so much better, and it's less dense and less heavy than eating and consuming greasy, nasty, not so great for you, junky belief systems that get stuck inside of you. So look at every single plane, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. What are the beliefs that you are choosing to assimilate? What are the beliefs that you've assimilated in the past that you now need to digest and just shit out? And what are the beliefs that you can choose to assimilate in the future and build up your strength, build up your unconscious, subconscious, muscular structure of tenacity and resilience? I hope this episode inspired you, opened your eyes, opened your heart, opened your body up to new possibilities, and that you start seeing your body as the most effective, most beautiful, brilliant tool that you have in discerning choices, opportunities, and your next best right steps for your life, for your business, for your health. As always, my fellow sovereigns, own your throne, mind your business, because your reign is now.
Thank you so much for tuning in today. If what you heard resonated with you, be sure to subscribe and start creating a bigger impact now by sharing this with a friend. Just by doing that one simple act of kindness, you are creating a royal ripple to support more people in their sovereignty. And if you're not already following on social media, connect with me everywhere at crownyourself.now for more inspiration. I am so excited to connect with you in the next episode. And in the meantime, go out there and create a body, business, and life that rules. Because today, you crown yourself.